all of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
And so I'm gonna always be at the forefront of the HIV and AIDS fight. I love it. We come a long way. We still got a long way to go. But I will continue to do what I can to help educate people, raise the awareness level of HIV and AIDS, care for people, and then also stop the discrimination against people who are living with it.
All kinds of stuff, bro. And it's crazy how people never even knew that or noticed that. And they had us thinking that it was the baby oil. But they haven't said anything about the baby oil.
But you know, the industry say that he's now given a lot of names of people who may have been infected with some HIV and other STDs from puffing.
Hollywood thrives on mystery. It feeds on stories that blur the line between reality and rumor. Every few months, a headline emerges that forces fans to question how much they really know about the people they watch, admire, or follow. This time, that headline involves two of the most recognizable names in entertainment, Sean Diddy Combs and E.J. Johnson, the son of basketball legend Magic Johnson. According to several viral discussions online, Katt Williams has once again stepped into the spotlight with comments that seem to touch this controversial topic. Known for his fearless takes on the darker side of the entertainment industry, Katt has become a voice for those who believe there is more happening behind the scenes than most people realize. But before we jump into what was said, it's important to remember that this entire situation remains built on speculation. The allegations circulating online, mostly from unverified sources, claim a secret connection between Diddy and E.J. Johnson. There's no credible evidence to prove it, yet the story continues to grow, fueled by social media debates, old interviews, and Hollywood's long history of secrecy. Katt Williams has never been the type to hold his tongue. Over the years, he has earned both admiration and criticism for saying things others only whisper about. His interviews often feel more like confessions from someone who has seen too much of Hollywood's inner workings. In his view, fame isn't a reward, it's a deal. You give up something for attention, and that something might be your peace, your privacy, or even your soul. This philosophy forms the backdrop of every time Katt mentions a name like Diddy.
Club Shay Shay, yeah. I was trying to do something there that hadn't been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically, and I thought that I could show that. And when I wrote it out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs so that the comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story, motherfucker. I'm gonna tell this, but you know what else I know. So, yeah, I was...
Do you want to tell any of those stories now?
Well, I'm saying...
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication.
He has accused powerful figures of creating environments where young artists feel pressured to compromise their values. He's spoken about private parties, manipulation, and a culture of silence that protects the rich and punishes anyone who tells the truth. So when Katt's name gets tied to rumors about Diddy and E.J. Johnson, people take notice, not because they trust every detail, but because his record of exposing uncomfortable truths makes them curious. And that curiosity often becomes the spark for Hollywood's loudest conversations.
It's sad, but what I'm gonna say is as far as Katt Williams is concerned, the one thing that seems to be the running theme with this tragedy that's happened to Reggie Carroll's life and his family's life is that y'all really not making it about what happened to him. Y'all really are just making it about how to destroy Katt Williams' credibility so nobody has to believe what he has to say, because he's the last of the whistleblowers that y'all haven't really touched up on yet. It's just funny it's all happening around this time.
Right.
Auspicious timing. And I'm not sitting here saying that, you know, the passing of Reggie Carroll was some kind of great conspiracy plot to set up Katt Williams so that they could, you know, devalue him as a whistleblower or whatever the case may be. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. I'm not saying that at all. And I don't want to hear anybody even trying to remotely put those words in my mouth. What I'm saying is the one thing that I know for sure is that they will take any opportunity that they have to trash and disgrace and destroy anyone who was brave enough to tell the truth, even this man's passing. Because the truth is, they should just be talking about him.
The alleged Diddy-EJ connection first gained traction after a few controversial online personalities began sharing supposed party guest lists and hidden clues about celebrity relationships. One of those names, Jaguar Wright, has been outspoken about Diddy for years. She's accused him of influencing or even harming others in the entertainment industry. When social media users noticed E.J. Johnson's name mentioned in similar circles, the narrative quickly grew. Some claimed they were seen together at after parties, while others tied the story to a blind item about an NBA star's son being caught up in Diddy's lifestyle.
So we coming to you live, Diddy late nights. Anything can happen. I'm just vibing. It's so wide. You gotta keep that.
Special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and the large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contained images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
KY stock going up.
Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well that we recovered 3 AR-15s.
Despite the attention, no solid evidence ever surfaced. Reputable outlets like People magazine, which has long covered Magic Johnson's family, never mentioned Diddy in connection with EJ. Instead, the record shows only a father's love and support for his son's identity and career. But the lack of evidence hasn't stopped the internet from doing what it does best, connecting fragments of gossip until they look like a complete picture. E.J. Johnson is more than Magic Johnson's son. He is a public figure who built his own name in fashion and television. His confidence and style have made him an inspiration for many young people who are learning to embrace who they are. But that visibility also makes him a target. Hollywood has always had a strange relationship with identity. It celebrates uniqueness, but it also turns individuality into controversy. EJ's openness about his gender expression and sexuality makes him a powerful voice in the media, but it also places him under constant scrutiny. So when rumors link him to someone like Diddy, who is surrounded by multiple controversies, it creates tension between perception and truth. Some see EJ's silence as maturity, others see it as avoidance. But silence does not always mean guilt. Sometimes it's a way to protect peace in a world that profits from chaos. wealth and success, has spent the last few years surrounded by lawsuits and controversy. From old interviews being revisited to new claims of misconduct, Diddy's image has taken a dramatic turn. Allegations about controlling behavior, exploitation, and inappropriate relationships have painted a far darker picture than the one fans knew in the 1990s and 2000s. Some former associates have even spoken about how Diddy allegedly uses his wealth and connections to silence dissent.
This. Puff had people do things, criminal acts, buying drugs, right? Paying for prostitutions, paying for prostitution, bringing people and drugging people, because we now know that the drugs was not in the baby oil, it was in the eye drops. They was putting drugs in the eye drops. So I guess that's where they was, putting in people drinks or whatever like that. But they would, because it's hard to see a little eye drop thing in your hand and you just go and throw a little squirt in somebody's drink or whatever like that. You ain't definitely putting nothing in nobody's eyes and say, here, take this is gonna make you feel good. They was putting that shit in people's drink. They found drugs in the eye drops. You understand? I still don't know why they took 1,000 bottles of baby oil and didn't find nothing in it, but they didn't bring that up yet. So they found the drugs in the eye drop. So now the racketeering is gonna come, whereas that the people that he had do all those criminal acts, they were paying for it out cash with their own money and credit cards and stuff like that. And then Bad Boy was coming and paying them under Bad Boy Entertainment. They was paying them back. So that's where the racketeering is gonna come in at. Committing crimes and then paying for it with the company and using the people in your company to commit the crimes for you. It only takes two, bruh. And they got more than two already. And that's why, and I'm sorry about that, man. That's why you got those people that took those deals. They got his own people testifying against him now. Did you buy drugs? Yes. Who did you buy drugs for? Mr. Combs. What did you buy drugs with? My money. How would you reimburse for your money or whatever like that? Through Bad Boy Entertainment.
Yeah, that was crazy to hear. And like you said, they did find bottles of eye drops with MDMA, which is ecstasy.
They do all kinds of stuff, bruh.
These stories make it easy for new rumors to stick. When people already believe a public figure is capable of questionable behavior, they're more likely to believe anything connected to their name. That's why the mention of E.J. Johnson in this context immediately drew attention. It felt like another piece of a much larger puzzle that Katt Williams and others have been trying to expose for years. Katt's commentary has always gone beyond just telling jokes. From his earliest stand-up routines to his podcast interviews, he has repeatedly claimed that fame in Hollywood is controlled by powerful networks. He's accused certain producers, actors, and executives of forcing entertainers into moral compromises just to keep working. He once compared Hollywood to a playground for the powerful, where careers are built and destroyed based on who you align yourself with. These statements might sound exaggerated, but history has shown that the industry often hides uncomfortable truths behind its glamorous image. Katt's biggest strength is that he speaks from experience. He has faced career setbacks, public humiliation, and even arrests, many of which he claims were attempts to silence him. So when he talks about Diddy's secret circles or warns young entertainers about who they trust, it's coming from a place of personal battle rather than gossip. Hollywood operates on relationships. You rise by association and you fall by exposure. This system creates a culture where loyalty often means silence. People know things, but they rarely speak. That's why when someone like Katt Williams goes public, it's such a big deal. He's breaking a code that has existed for decades. Behind the parties, the award shows, and the billion-dollar deals, there are unwritten rules. Who to protect, who to avoid, and who never to. His long career represents that very power structure. He has influence in music, fashion, business, and television. Many artists owe their early success to him, which makes it risky for anyone to question his behavior. And that's exactly the kind of environment Katt says he escaped from. It's interesting to compare how both figures handle public attention. E.J. Johnson lives his life in the open. He doesn't hide who he is or what he stands for. Diddy, on the other hand, has built his legacy on mystery. His image has always been curated, luxurious, powerful, untouchable. This difference in transparency may be why their rumored connection seems so intriguing to fans. It represents two opposite worlds colliding: openness versus secrecy, individuality versus control. Whether or not there is truth to the claims, the story itself symbolizes the ongoing tension between freedom and image in Hollywood. The internet has become the new entertainment press. Traditional journalism relies on confirmation, but online gossip runs on momentum. Once a rumor starts trending, it can shape how millions perceive a person in hours. YouTube channels, podcasts, and social media accounts dedicated to celebrity news have built entire platforms around this cycle. They collect clues, analyze interviews, and present narratives that blend fact with speculation. Sometimes they uncover real scandals. Other times, they just amplify imagination.
It was his son's parties.
Good point. They said some of these freak-offs will last for days.
That's where they're gonna get him on the sex trafficking thing. Especially like if he was traveling and doing it. That's where the trafficking come at. That you hiring workers to come and have a girl, that's crazy. That's some Hollywood that I don't even know, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But they also claiming that, Diddy, he'll give ecstasy to his victims to keep them obedient.
Then they have to bring those witnesses in there. That's gonna be something hard to prove. Unless Lil Rob or Lil Cat or Cassie state that was something that happened. That's how the prosecutor's gonna prove that. They got a ton of evidence that they gotta try to prove, bro. A lot of that that if you read it, it could be circumstantial, you know what I'm saying? But they gotta have witness to back it up. You just can't say that that happened based on somebody lawsuiting what the words that they're saying. They have to have witnesses in there. And I think Puff lawyers is gonna be smart enough to attack that.
Right. And they claiming that Diddy, he was blackmailing his victims because he had videos from old freak-offs and he was using those videos to get his victims to do another freak-off. So
if he was blackmailing people, especially people that work for him, see, this is what it's gonna get him at. See, people think that, those people work for him, or those people, if they was artists and they worked for him, or they were engineers, or anybody that worked for them and stuff like that, your boss cannot blackmail you to do nothing. If you do a sex act or you doing anything, your boss, if he have you doing those things like that, then he could be liable for suit. Because you're not doing it willingly. Because that individual is your boss. So psychologically, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody say, that when somebody has something over you, could determine your job, your career, your livelihood. That's somewhat of a blackmail if they holding stuff that they've done, that you've done in the past, over your head to make you continually doing that stuff. Now, that's where he loses at. Cause some of those people worked for him, or he was a part of doing something. They was part of doing something for their career with him. That's why he loses that case.
In this case, the story of Diddy and E.J. Johnson gained life, not because of evidence, but because it fits into a familiar pattern. The audience has already seen Diddy linked to numerous mysterious allegations, so it feels believable. And that emotional reaction is all social media needs to keep the story alive. Magic Johnson has lived most of his life in the public eye. From his championship days with the Lakers to his groundbreaking openness about his health, he has learned how to handle media attention with grace. When it comes to EJ, Magic's love and support have never wavered. He has publicly defended his son's right to live authentically and to be proud of who he is. That unconditional support is rare in the world of fame, where image often outweighs emotion. So for Magic, seeing his family's name dragged into controversy is nothing new. But it still reminds the public how even the most respected families are not immune to the distortions of online gossip. Magic's silence on the issue may not be indifference, it could be wisdom. Sometimes the best response to a rumor is not to play the game at all. Hollywood claims to be a place of freedom and progress, but in reality, it often punishes honesty. Many celebrities who tried to live openly, whether about their relationships, beliefs, or personal struggles, have faced quiet backlash behind the scenes. E.J. Johnson's journey represents courage and authenticity, yet the industry still treats difference as a spectacle. Meanwhile, figures like Diddy, whose public life revolves around wealth and control, are often protected until the public pressure becomes too heavy to ignore. This contrast shows how fame operates like a mirror. It doesn't always reflect truth. It reflects what the audience is willing to believe. And in that mirror, the stories of people like EJ and Diddy become tools for larger conversations about identity, power, and the cost of silence.
Oh, did I say Freak Mill? I meant Meek Mill. But you know, the industry say that he's now given a lot of names of people who may have been infected with some HIV and other STDs from Puffy. You know, as you know, he's been pretty quiet. You know, he already been thin, and he always feels the need to defend himself. And the thing is, if you've done nothing, you don't feel the need to defend yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? But Meek Mill has been naming names. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the point is, he's given so many names of people who walked away with more than just fun than the Puffy party. Can you dig what I'm saying? They walked away with certain things that they couldn't get rid of. You know, my theory, honestly, guys, my theory with this whole with the whole parties that was at his house, no, not the freak offs in the hotel, but the parties that he had in his house. My theory is that people were paying a certain amount of money to come to his house and live out their sexual fantasy or whatever their fetishes was. Because as you see, you know, there was a lot of fetish stuff going, a lot of fantasy stuff going on. So, you know, even though you had a lot of the male escorts, female escorts, you had a whole bunch of locked doors and so much personal lubricant, that Astroglide, and so much baby oil. But guys, they did not find one safety pack intact. They didn't find any prophylactics. You have not heard them talk about, like, not one condom. There has not been one condom in sight. Can you dig what I'm saying? Not one condom. You ain't heard about nobody strapping up. And every video that you hear about Diddy, you know, every man who said that he attacked him said that he was in that thing raw. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to peep what's going on nowadays. You have diseases that you can't get rid of, but you can take pills. You could take all kind of things to keep you undetectable. And see, as Jaguar White was saying, man, she claims that Diddy been dealing with this HIV. That's what Jaguar White claims. She says that Diddy has been dealing with this HIV thing and other STDs. You know, she's an industry person. She says she has 20 people off the top that she can name off the top of her neck, off top of her head, that is dealing with this and that are undetectable.
Why do people believe in stories like this so quickly? The answer lies in the psychology of fame. Audiences are drawn to contradiction. They love seeing powerful people appear vulnerable. The idea that someone like Diddy, a billionaire mogul who commands respect, might have hidden secrets appeals to a collective curiosity about hypocrisy in high places. Meanwhile, connecting his name to someone as open and confident as E.J. Johnson creates emotional contrast. It's a story about two extremes, which makes it fascinating to discuss. But fascination doesn't equal truth. Psychologists often point out that rumor spreads fastest when the public feels uncertainty. In Diddy's case, ongoing investigations and lawsuits already create that sense of doubt. Add a few mysterious claims and social media interpretation, and a rumor quickly becomes accepted as fact by thousands. Some fans believe Katt Williams speaks out to warn others. Others think he does it to settle scores with an industry that mistreated him. Both perspectives may have truth in them. Katt has faced humiliation, lost opportunities, and repeated media attacks throughout his career. He often says those experiences were punishment for refusing to join Hollywood's inner circles. That gives his words a mix of bitterness and bravery. When Katt references Diddy, he's not just calling out one man. He's addressing a system that rewards compliance and punishes honesty. Whether or not his comments about E.J. Johnson are factual, they force people to reconsider how much influence powerful figures have over the image of others.
Doing a lot of truth-telling.
Want to know what's interesting?
Go ahead.
It's Katt Williams that taught me how to be Jaguar right.
Oh, wow, okay. What was it about him that you kind of say, ooh?
10-10. He was my 30th birthday present. Almost 17 years ago. I'll never forget when he walked into the club and I was sitting at my table. It's my birthday party. And Special Ed brought him.
Shout out Special.
And me and Ed were celebrating our birthdays that year for the Taurus Affair that we used to do in Miami Beach every year. And Katt was playing the amphitheater and he wanted to meet me. And he came to my party, gave me about 20 grand in cash and said, consider it a down payment on your time. And Moni Love was there. Cousin Sonny was there. Imrel was outside smoking a blunt, so she missed the infamous picture with all of us together with Katt. And me and him sitting next to each other, two hats on, two cats in the hat.
Yeah.
And he taught me so much in 9 months. Walking away was hard, but it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him. And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house. And I left. You know, back in that moment, Katt was still wearing Kevlar to bed. To bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on. In bed.
What was it about that and him at the moment where it made you want to speak your truth?
He went after Comedy Central. That's what happened. The Flavor Flav roast. The moment that I knew the Snoop Dogg is sold out. That was a hurtful moment. I was always grateful to Snoop for taking Corrupt under his wing. Ricky was in a lot of trouble in Philly. If he hadn't signed a dog pan, I don't even know if he would have been alive. I've always been grateful to Snoop for that. Ricky, my brother.
That's real. Man, that's real. So let me, go ahead.
They wanted Katt to humiliate Flav. Like humiliate him. Like no holds barred. And they sent a bunch of good jokes. And I'll never forget watching Katt in the office downstairs at the house in Marina Del Rey. And he's sitting there looking at the fucking script and just shaking his head.
At the heart of all this lies a bigger truth. Fame is fragile. The higher someone climbs, the less control they have over their own story. One rumor can undo years of hard work, and one silence can be misunderstood as confirmation. E.J. Johnson seems to understand this. Instead of defending himself publicly, he continues to focus on his projects, fashion, and personal growth. That restraint might be the smartest move of all. In Hollywood, where every reaction becomes content, silence is often the loudest statement a person can make. Katt Williams, on the other hand, uses his voice as a weapon. He challenges the idea that silence keeps people safe. In his world, speaking up is survival, even if it comes at a price. As the rumor continues to circulate, the public remains divided. Some defend Diddy, arguing that online gossip has replaced real journalism. Others support Katt, claiming that he's one of the few brave enough to confront the industry's darkness. Meanwhile, EJ's fans express frustration that his name is being used for attention. They remind people that gossip, even when entertaining, can have real emotional consequences. The conversation has grown beyond one story. It's now about credibility, responsibility, and how much we as audiences contribute to the destruction or protection of celebrity reputations. At the end of the day, the supposed relationship between Diddy and EJ Johnson remains unverified. It exists only in speculation, built on half-truths and online curiosity. Yet its impact reveals something profound about the modern world. We are addicted to secrets. Katt Williams has once again sparked a discussion that goes beyond gossip. His words invite people to look behind the curtain of Hollywood and question why certain truths never reach the surface. Maybe the real story isn't about who was at which party, but about how the entertainment world continues to protect the powerful while exploiting the vulnerable. As viewers, we have a choice. We can either feed the rumor or seek the truth behind the system that creates it. In an age where every story can be twisted by clicks and curiosity, perhaps the real question we should ask ourselves is this: do we want the truth, or do we just want to be entertained by the illusion of it? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.